Time shot, it's time shot. I'm in the place where my friends are, and I know together we'll go far. Yeah, time shot, it's time shot. And I'm still doing things the time shot way. Hello, people. It's Poet, and we're back on TimeShot. I almost said, and we're back on the dinosaur world. That would be very wrong. So today I'm just gonna have a kind of a, well, I don't know if it's gonna be lighthearted, but it'll be a thing that I've wanted to talk about for a while. And at the same time, I also wanted to tell a story that my brother had told me that I thought was kind of funny. It probably won't translate, the same. It won't be as funny, but I wanted to at least it won't be as funny, but I thought it was funny, so I wanted to tell you guys because somebody's got to hear the story. And then I also wanted to I want to tear this down, this little whatever this is right here, and try to figure out what I'm going to do for some sort of a storage room. I usually call it a treasure room. I don't know why. It's just a habit. Maybe from the old days of gaming when there used to always be lots of chests inside of a treasure room. But anyway, I also wanted to make note that I am feeling kind of under the weather today. Not in any way that you guys could hear. It's not a cold or anything. I feel nauseous. I feel dizzy. I feel, if I think too much about it, then I'm going to feel like I got to pass out. So I really just, I can't think about it. But I've been feeling, oh, okay. That sounds bad. Sometimes I have the same thing happen to me with OBS. OBS is one of those it either works great or it works like crap. There's no in between. So it's one of those things. Anyway, so I'm under the weather, not feeling too good, but I am still recording this because I meant to record this actually yesterday or the day before even. And it's just gotten away from me now. And so here I am. I gotta do it. Every time I have a chance to record, I feel like it's super late at night. And it's part of the reason is definitely because I want to spend my free time with Win. Not a big upset. I'm not crying over that. Definitely not. But you guys lose out in the fact that I could have recorded this probably days ago, but didn't because you know what? I got better things to do with my time. No offense, but so yeah, I've been meaning to record this. I'm feeling sick, but I gotta record it while I have a bit of time. Win is actually streaming right now with Lily, so I should be watching that, but I had to do this. I had to. So can't wait anymore. Must do it. I wanted to talk about a story that my brother told me. And like I said at the beginning, I found it funny. Nobody else will. I can feel it already in my bones. That I can tell the story and it just doesn't capture the way that he tells stories. He's a raconteur, as it were. He can tell a great story. And I've talked about him in the past in last season of TimeShot and then 100 episodes in. So I don't even know where you would find it. Probably somebody in the comments will just know. Oh yeah, it was episode 58. The one where I talked about my brother's misfortunes. Now, my brother is a very unfortunate person. He has a series of unfortunate events happen to him all the time. He can't help it. It just happens to him. And every single time he tells one of these stories, he tells it in a way that, like, I'm almost wetting myself with laughter at the end of the day when he tells these stories. And if you don't know what my brother looks like or who he is, check out some of my old unboxing videos for Japan Crate, Tokyo Treat, and those things. He joined me for a couple of them. So you can see him there. But we went for Indian food the other day because it's delicious, by the way. If you've never had, it is one of my all-time favorite things to eat. And he was telling me this story about, like, I asked him a question about this radio program because he's a musician and he's been on the radio before and he was supposed to be on the radio again. I just kind of asked him out of curiosity, like, hey, have you, were you on the radio yet? Like, how did that go? And he said that, yes, he was, but he got hit by a car. And I was like, you know, you can't just say that to a person. You can't just say, oh, by the way, I was hit by a car. You know, no biggie. But it isn't a biggie to him because it happens to him apparently all the time. But it happens to him in that, like, he's riding a bike. He rides a bike everywhere he goes, most places he goes. And he gets hit by cars fairly often. In that it's mostly cars that are turning, like a right turn, and he'll be traveling on the shoulder, and they won't see him, and then they just they lightly tap him. You know, a light tap though with a car could be a dangerous thing. It could be a deadly thing. You know, so it's usually not a very good thing to happen to you, but either way, it happens to him. He's okay. No harm done. But what happened is, and why I'm bringing all this up, is that, so I asked him, like, how did it go, the whole radio thing? And he said that he was late. He was late, and he was hurrying on a bike. And he got hit by a car. And, it probably didn't take out that much time out of his day. He's running, say 15 minutes late for this thing, and then he gets hit by a car. And he says that he gets to the radio station, and they don't have an elevator. I don't know if it was out or if they just don't have one. And it was on, like, the 6th floor. Okay, so here he is. He's traveling on his bike, late for this DJing that he was going to do. He was going to actually be presenting on the radio. Like, he was the guy setting up the music, being a DJ, like any person that you hear on the radio and so on. So he was late for that, and he's hurrying to get there. He gets hit by a car. All right, so there's that. Basically just, like, glares at the person who was driving. They look scared and terrified and that they've done a horrible thing, and so they should. Consumed with guilt, I'm sure. And anyway, he continues on and gets to the radio station. But by this time, he's maybe 25 minutes late. Then it doesn't have an elevator. So he's got to get up to the 6th floor of this building with his bike, no less. Climbing stairs as fast as he can. Gets to the radio station, the studio, the sound booth, whatever you want to call it. The sound booth. And the last song before he got on the air just ended. And it's dead air. There's nobody on. They're waiting for him, he's late. Nobody there. It's just dead air. So panic. Cuz he's supposed to be on, and it's just there's nothing. There's actually nothing on the radio. So if you were to tune into that station at that time in good old Winnipeg here, it would have just been silence. Just complete silence. So that's terrible. He's panicking and runs into the studio as fast as he can, tries to start setting up, hits the mic. Okay, so the mic has an on-off switch. A mute button, basically. hits that, says to everybody listening, like, hold on a minute. I'm getting, that was so-and-so. Please stay tuned for more, kind of thing, just to put something out there. Which he does. He panics. And boy, does he ever put something out there. He panics and he goes and he's trying to set up his laptop. That's what happens next. He's setting up his laptop to try to put something on there. But all the cords are missing. Like, all the equipment is in piles and stuff. And there's somebody else in the studio and he's yelling at them. He's saying, there's nothing on the air. There's nothing on the air. And the guy points out, yes, there is something on the air. You have the mic on. That's on the air. And so they can hear you yelling at me. He goes and he plugs in his laptop and he has to find the first thing, because it's already been 15 minutes and there's just dead air. Has to find something to play, whatever it could be, just find something. Starts his playlist on iTunes. First thing to come up. He doesn't care right now if Rihanna starts playing. It doesn't matter if this is a country station, a rock station, whatever. Bruno Mars. Come on. I don't care. I need something on the air. Starts playing the first thing on his playlist, which happens to be some kind of a speech by Noam Chomsky. And if you don't know who Noam Chomsky is and what a speech of his would sound like, keeping in mind that people have been tuning into this station to hear their favorite songs, indie songs, whatever it is, and it's been dead air for 15 minutes, this guy comes on the air. He's completely out of breath. He had just been hit by a car. He says to people, please hold on for music. We're going to be on, get something as soon as possible. I was just hit by a car. He cuts the audio. He thinks. Starts yelling at the sound guy. The mic wasn't muted. Starts playing a Noam Chomsky speech. I think I'm going to try to edit in, if I can remember it. I'm going to try to edit in a Noam Chomsky speech to give you just kind of the perspective of what people listening would have heard.
To be truly educated from this point of view means to be in a position to inquire and create on the basis of the resources available to you, which you've come to appreciate and comprehend.
And at that point, he's thinking, how can this possibly get worse? How can he recover from this? He manages to get everything hooked up after the speech is basically finished, and then starts his set. Does the playlist that he wanted to play. So after all of that was done, and he 2 hours on the radio, done, okay, you're finished. The producer comes in, and the producer's like, great show. Really liked it. It was amazing. You did a great job. And he's sort of just, staring at the guy like, are you insane? What? How could that have been a great set? But whatever. Okay. Did you by chance catch the beginning of the set? He asks the producer, and the producer says, oh, no, I just came in about half an hour ago, but it sounded pretty good. And he's like, yep, it was pretty good. And he ran out the door as fast as he could. And that, my friends, is an average day in my brother's life. And I'm not even kidding you. These kinds of things happen to him all of the time, which is why it's so hilarious, extraordinarily hilarious to listen to these stories. Because it's just a series of unfortunate events constantly. And I don't know, it makes you humble, I guess. keeps you humble. But yeah, that's just one example of one of his bad stories. And I always want to tell these kinds of stories for you guys because I find it always so funny. To just the way that my brother describes these things happening to him. It's so funny. It's so funny. You can't get better than that. Even though I am laughing at his misfortunes, it doesn't matter. It's funny anyway, right? You gotta laugh at yourself. You gotta learn to laugh at yourself. But anyway, that isn't exactly what I wanted to talk about today. I still got about, 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most, in this video, if I want to have it a decent time. I think actually what I'll do now, apart from just doing all this dirt work, doing the dirty work, I will actually do the quartz now. Eat some shrimp on the Barbie doll. And, yeah, so let me see. I got this other thing I wanted to talk about. And I was thinking about this the other day when, it sounds so stupid, but I actually started thinking about it when I was at Walmart, of all places. I had bought a cable there for my phone. It's, long story short, really, honestly, but I gotta tell you guys, my phone has been not charging very well. Like, at night, I have to, jam the cord into it so hard that my fingers actually start to ache. Like, I'm not kidding you. I'll be going to bed, go to my nightstand, plug in my phone to charge it, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. So I take the cord and I jam it in the charger port of the phone as hard as my fingers can possibly press this thing. To the point where it's like, if I press any harder now, my fingers may actually start to bleed. I should really stop pressing this thing. So, I mean, it's been really, really unfortunate. I went to Walmart. I bought a cable. It didn't work, by the way. Cable didn't work. It's my phone, apparently, that's just broken. But anyway, I was at Walmart to return the cord because that wasn't the issue, right? So I'm returning a cord, and I realized then that, the majority of the people who were in the line to return stuff were older generation people, 60 and up, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think I want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do like that. And then I want some blocks in between. Like that. Let's make an odd number. And then I gotta go 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh. Look at this guy creeping up on me. 7, 8. Look at this guy creeping up on me. So I'm at the Walmart, I'm returning something, and I notice that everybody in line is of an older age. And it got me to thinking about just even just how I was feeling about this cable. Because this cable had sat on my, I got this little counter right beside my door, my front door. And it's been sitting there for days and days and days. Should I fill all this in? You know what I'm going to do? It's going to be an utter waste of quartz. But I think if I go with this layout, I'm actually just going to bring it down so that it looks sort of like it was built into the mountain here. So it'd go like that. And then the next one would come down, and so on. That looks a little bit better than having to dig out all this stuff. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. So all these people in line are older, and there's nothing wrong with being old. You know, I'm getting older myself. I'm already in my 30s, and that's older than a lot of the people who watch my videos. But, you know, I'm not over the hill yet. There are people way older than I am, you know. People in their 90s. There's actually this person who's making YouTube videos. I watched her channel, and she's like 80 years old or something. It's crazy. Just absolutely crazy. All right, that looks okay from afar. Good from afar, far from good, as they say, maybe. But anyway, it got me to thinking, because I had this on my table for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks at the most, let's say. And I was actually debating returning it. Like, should I return this? Is it really worth it? It was only like $20. Do I bother? You know? Oh, but it's $20, and, you know, every dollar counts. Money's been tight. I gotta, you know, think about the little dollars now. I can't just waste $20. $20 could buy a couple sandwiches, you know, to feed myself for another day. I'm thinking about things like that, and it really got me thinking, you know, like, there's this mentality that I actually had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. We're making it kind of a clovery shape in some weird way. But yeah, for a while, I was thinking that I wasn't going to return it. And it seems to me like there's this mentality among younger generation. And I still do consider myself part of that younger generation. You know, like I said, I'm not over the hill yet. And I still have all the failings of the younger generation. The millennials or whatever. I think that I'm technically still Generation X. Or Gen X and then Gen Y and then millennial after that. Whatever. I'm Gen something. Either way, we have this sort of a mentality where we settle for crap. We settle for poor service. We settle and don't get. It's like we're too lazy to get what we deserve, you know? If something's broken, do I bother returning it? Just take it as a loss, and it is what it is. You know, that's sort of the way that we have kind of ended up, I feel like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm actually going to curve it in there. Gonna curve it in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Curve it in there. Hey. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it goes in like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it goes in. Wait. Huh. 1. This is already wrong because of this block right here. Ugh. No, wait. What? Why is this happening to me? Something's wrong with this whole build already. Oh, God. This is not supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is not supposed to be here, this one block right here. And then it's supposed to go like this. And then these are supposed to be in. What a pain. But anyway, like there's oftentimes I'll buy something and then it doesn't matter if it's crap or not. It's like, you know what? It's more trouble to demand better. It's more trouble to demand better than it is to just accept a failure. You know, that's kind of how it is. It's easier to accept failure than to actually expect better things to happen. Isn't that bad though? But like, think about it. How many times, let's put it into the world of video games, because we're all gamers here, or at least we like watching video games. I think that, like, especially when it comes to bad video games, yes, Steam now has a refund feature. For a long time they didn't, but now they do. But how often is it that you actually go so far as to ask for a refund when it comes to a bad video game? Like, it's just a terrible game, period. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a bad video game, but you don't care. You just still accept that it's a bad game, and that's that. How often does that happen to you? Where it's a bad game, but you don't care. You just accept it to be a bad game, and you're out $10 or whatever the game cost. Maybe $6, maybe $20, maybe $50. You know? How many people bought Elite Dangerous and were like, "Oh, this game is terrible." Oh, well. You know? How many people? I'm betting a huge number didn't get a refund despite hating the game. Okay? But it's like, people expect less now from games. And I think they expect less now from products in general. You know, going back to the not just video games, but in all ways type of thing. Where, you know, people expect that if I buy something, there is a guaranteed chance that, well, let's say 50-50. You know, that's a pretty strong chance. That's what I call a guaranteed chance. There's a pretty strong chance that this product will not work. It'll be bad. And you know what? I'll be out money for it. There's a good chance of that. What's going on with this thing here? Did it always look this way? Yeah. A little waterfall doesn't cascade off the edge anymore. I've broken my waterfall. I may actually have to put another new waterfall. Like, I might have to, like, make my own. Put it, like, right up in there. And then just have water cascading down from there. That would work. That would look alright. And then I can block off this water here. But I don't want to get rid of the water. I like the water. That's why I have little waterfalls here and there and everywhere. But yeah, there seems to be this expectation now that products, they have like a 50-50 chance of being bad. And if they are, well, that's just how the world works. You know, there's no demand. There's no huge demand that products be better and get better. And like, you know, people just buy it anyway. You know, the new iPhone. Oh, there's nothing new about it. It's not that good. Buy it anyway. Why? It's new. You know? There's just this expectation of crappiness in products. And I think our generation, the younger generation, expect that. And because of that, I don't feel like we feel it's necessary to complain. Like, well, 2 million people like this product, so what am I complaining for? You know, like, it doesn't matter. What's $20? Who cares? But it really starts to affect things like the video game industry, if we swing back to the video game side of things, where, you know, products are sold to us every day that are terrible. You know, game developers can be indie developers. That's true. But it used to be that even indie developers had some sort of a quality that they like a standard that they followed. That in order to release a game, it had to be completed. Early access has now sort of started to ruin that, but even more so on the Kickstarters and the crowdfunded things where games don't even have to actually be developed and they're still, you know, pretty terrible. They still get funded. They still set the bar. Oh yeah, I built this, by the way. I didn't show you guys this. Let me just... Is MK on? So I can't sleep. Yeah, it should be alright to show you guys. I know that, like, already zombies are tracking me. Look at this jerk. Oops, I missed him somehow. There we go. See if I can get rid of some of these guys. Oh my god, they're all more spawning in. Okay. Creepers are really part of the problem here. Got that guy, this guy. Alright, let me carry on with the story though. One of the things that really made me rant the other day, I was having my stream again, my dinosaur stream, which was loads of fun. I really, really had fun. Oh, by the way, I finished this too, and I didn't show you guys yet. I got a lot to show you guys over here. Yeah, I made this little entryway. Made this little entryway thing. I think it looks pretty good. How it's kind of chiseled out there. Got the glass on it. It's got the black clay like this does. I want to start incorporating that a little bit more in builds. Not so much this big tower. Maybe a little bit into the bridges and stuff. But definitely the black hardened clay is something that's I'm going to keep bringing back. It just means that I got to kill a lot of squids. And by squids, I mean squid. Plurally speaking. Actually, I might as well do that now. So I was having my stream, like I was saying. And I know now that this video is going on well beyond what my expectations for it were. In time, length. But it's gotta happen, guys. It's gotta happen, I gotta tell you. Having my stream. And somebody brought up a touchy subject. A touchy subject. One that I haven't talked about since I think my first season of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. Okay? Are these two games in development right now. And they're made to be the sequels. The sequel, period, of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. What? A sequel? A spiritual successor is what I mean. Like, not a sequel, but, like, you know. Oh, look at this. These guys are zombie apocalypsing. It's made to be, like, a newer, moderner version of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. So, think like one of those roller coaster tycoon type games. Or a city builder type game, but instead of cities and roller coasters, you're building a dinosaur park. You know, sounds amazing, and I'm very surprised that no AAA title has started work on something like that. You know, it's similar to like Age of Empires. Age of Empires was the most amazing series of all time back in the 90s. Microsoft has apparently announced a new version, a new number 4, finally, after like 20 years. But like, why are there no good ones being released or developed? It's one of those things. It's a question that nobody can answer. Anyway, these two games are the spiritual successor to Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. And I've talked about them in the past to the point where, like, I've said, like, oh, these are such scams. Nothing's happening with the development. It's such a scam. Why are people giving their money to these developers? They're not doing anything anyway. You know, and then I had the developers actually, like, replying on my video being like, shut up, poet. What are you talking about? We are doing work. How dare you say these things? And I was thinking, okay, well, fine. You know what? If you guys are doing work, then put your money where your mouth is. And show me. Show me what work is being done. Show me a finished product. And then, when you do, I will gladly eat my words. You know? I have always said to people that when I'm wrong, I know that I'm wrong, I will fully acknowledge defeat and say, you know what? You were right. I was wrong. I'm an idiot. You are smart. I am dumb. You know, that kind of thing. And I have yet, it's been what, like 2 years since I first started hearing about it. And I have yet to eat my words, so to speak. And so someone asked me about it again. Keeping in mind, it's been 2 years. 2 years ago, they gave me a tech demo. And 2 years ago, I said, well, that looks like crap. I don't want to really play that until it's finished. And 2 years ago, they started changing their names. The developer went on hiatus. The developer was caught stealing graphics and sounds from other people. They fired him. New people took over. They started changing things. And it's like 2 years later and, oh, but Poet, in a month or two, they're going to have a working tech demo. And I sit there beyond frustrated, beyond compelled to rant about it, knowing full well that, you know what, maybe, just maybe, there is a developer behind this, and maybe they are doing work, and I'd love to see that. Me, more than anybody else, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis was one of my favorite games of all time. To have a new one would be amazing. But, you know, I look at their Kickstarter, they've raised $50,000. $50,000 on Kickstarter. And what do people have to show for it, you know? A dream, a hope. And that's it. So what do you guys think about this? Taking an aside for a moment from my rant. This is what I was talking about. The staggering windows. You notice how it sort of like leans back a little bit? It's actually going to go up a little bit further, I think. Maybe one tier more. Kind of slightly leans back. And then these, you kind of saw it from up there, I think. But they have sort of a smokestack-like quality to them now. So if we go inside, you can see that they actually have a pit. And I'm going to cover this with magma. I actually could probably do that right now. And then this is going to have like a chute. And then smoke will come out the top. So that's my sort of smokestack. And I'm going to do the same on this side. I've done a lot less building on this side. But I've been working on that off camera. So back to the rant. You know, I another game that really those two games are fine. You know what? 50 grand isn't a lot of money for game development. You know, it might take them a while. Maybe they are working on it. You know, I still, it's been 2 years and I'm still giving them the benefit of the doubt. But people are, it's almost like, you know what? If nothing happens with it, it's fine. You know what? Settle for something being crap. And that's what my whole talk was sort of about, is people just settling for crap. You know, we should be standing outside the developer's door with pitchforks and torches saying, hey, we gave you 50 grand. Where's our game? Where's a alpha release early access on Steam, you know, for 50 grand? For 50 grand, I'll go and make the game. You give me 50 grand, I'll make it. Guaranteed. For 50 grand, I'd be set. I would make that game for you. So where is the game then, you know? $50,000. But that's not the worst one. One of the ones, I even have it on my Steam wish list, is a game called Bear Simulator. I guess it's sort of trying to cash in on the whole goat simulator type of thing. And yeah, see how that looks from up here? It's going to look cool with the smoke coming out. Really cool. But anyway, Bear Simulator. I found out that they had a Kickstarter that raised over $100,000. $100,000 for Bear Simulator. And the developer makes a post several months back. I think it was in March. And he says something like, people didn't like the game and have been very discouraged by that. And I'm not skilled enough to fix it. I'm not talented enough of a programmer to fix the bugs that they report. So I'm just going to quit working on the game. You know, if you're happy with it, then that's great. And I thank you for that. But, you know, it's done kind of thing. That's the comment that he made. People pledged $100,000. And for $100,000, he developed something that people don't like. And the second that they started to show him any sort of like, hey, we're not settling for this, it was, okay, well then I give up. I'm just going to take your $100,000 and be on my way. If you enjoyed it, great. If you don't, well, I still got $100,000. Goodbye. What? I mean, what world do we live in where this is acceptable and people just live with it? People are just, maybe, okay, people were ranting about it. They really were. That looks pretty good with the windows there. Oh, I'm getting distracted. But seriously, $100,000. People were getting upset, yeah, that this guy basically got $100,000. He made crap, doesn't know how to fix it. For $100,000, for some reason, can't hire someone who can fix it. And that's it. That's all there is to it. You can't do anything about it. This is what you pledged for. You should have expected, that when you pledge money for something like that, you might not get exactly what you asked for or what you expected. But pledging is different than when you legit buy a product with certain expectations that you do expect, and it is marketed as being something, being great, being a good product. And when you get it and it isn't, people seem to like, who cares? Not my problem. It's like this double standard, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Makes me rant. Makes me very... And this all came up from me being in line at Walmart, because I was the only younger person there returning something. And it's like, where was the generational shift where people were like, you know what? This product isn't good. I'm returning it. To a generation where this product isn't good. I'm just going to take my licks and that's it. It's not good. Oh well. All's well that ends well. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I think people are starting to feel defeated because of these lesser quality products around. Like these games that come out with huge promises, No Man's Sky and those 2 Jurassic Park Operation Genesis games and Bear Simulator and things like that. They come out with all these promises and then they can't basically give what they offered, and people have just learned that, oh, that happens all the time. So, we just accept it now. Okay. You know what? This video's gone on long enough. So, I'm going to end it with that. Hope you guys enjoyed at least watching me build a little bit. We built a few other things. I'm going to probably showcase them a little bit more when we have a little bit more time. I feel like I've been rushed at the end here because we're already like 45 minutes in. Either way, it is what it is. I'm at Code's future base. Just ran past. I was actually kind of seeing if I could find where MK was. But either way, we're going to end it there. Thanks for watching. Like this video. Comment below. Do all those other awesome things people do. If you guys have a comment about why you think our generation is it because we feel defeated? Is it because we're lazy that we don't demand perfection? Is it because too many imperfect products are released every day that we just have come to accept it? What is it? Why is it? And what do you think about these, imperfect products that come out and yet, people support because they have dreams and hopes and, like this Jurassic Park game. Oh, I don't know. I gotta stop talking. We'll see you next time on TimeShot. Bye-bye.